To look at those numbers. Okay, let's just take a look at this moment at the party-wise tally in Bihar. We have leads currently for 226 out of the 243 seats. The BJP leading on 51 of those seats. The Janata Dal United leading on 35. The Vikashsheel Insan Party of Mukesh Sahni on 5. The Hindustani Awam Morcha at 2. The RJD at this moment is the single largest party at 75. But the big surprise there is that the Congress is just too short of the JDU. The JDU is a formidable player in Bihar. The Congress at best a marginal player. But the Congress is leading on 33, the JDU at 35. That is interesting. The CPI-ML on 5, CPI-M on 3, the CPI on 1. Shwapan Das Gupta, what would it mean at the end of the day if the left has more seats in Bihar than it does in Bengal?
It will reflect that the left can only survive when it piggybacks. I don't think this is necessarily an indication of the true extent of the left's ability to represent in the legislature. Left has pockets of support, which is why the left in Bengal also is dependent on the Congress. And in the last election, you saw that the Congress tally was greater than the left. But the left is an asset in terms of a certain organizational ability which it has. It can manage, it can put people into booths, etc., but it can't attract votes. I think there is also a certain romanticism attached among the section of the media about the left and the CPI-ML. And I think that often plays out during this election. I saw this in this program also.
The voters, on the times of the Bolshevik party, there is.
Okay, let's go straight to Supriya Srinath of the Congress is with us. Sandeep Shastri also still with us. Supriya, since we last spoke to you in the last 45 minutes, it's become a tighter race. It's clear you have the edge. But at the moment, you're not looking like a 150 plus party, a comfortable 2/3 majority. You're looking more like a party that will squeak home with the support of the left, of course, with the support of your party, the Congress. Does that make life more difficult? Is there a number you're looking at where you will feel secure?
No, not at all. I think we will be well past the majority mark and we will form the government. And I have been hearing a lot of the analysis that has been done. India Today is actually my destination to watch results for a long time. But quite frankly, I think a lot of the analysis is cutting a lot of flack to the BJP. The reality is that you have to cutting and slicing the data. The reality is it's the Mahagathbandhan versus the NDA. And if the NDA loses, Mr. Modi needs to take as many brickbats as he would have if they were winning. So I don't understand why you're cutting him so much slack. That's my only concern. The concern also is that all attempts to polarize, all attempts to deflect from real issues are being negated in Bihar. And Bihar, mind you, from a median age point of view, is the youngest state in the country. And it's giving us all a message.
Okay, so should we be cutting slack for Prime Minister Modi, Syed Zafar Islam? Is it that if the BJP loses, Nitish Kumar is to blame? If the BJP-led alliance wins, then it's Jai Jai Modi, Har Har Modi.
Rajdeep, Congress knows that they cannot win, or RJD or Mahagathbandhan cannot win. They had hope primarily because the India Today Axis survey or the exit analysis. I'm coming to that.
Islam,
had given them some hope.
If the BJP loses today, is it Nitish Kumar's blame? Let's be direct.
It's a collective responsibility for everyone. We all know that the Honorable Prime Minister has a lot of admiration in Bihar and people do adore him. And it is very evident from the fact that every rally, it's been, the kind of people who attended was unprecedented.
But
something which we had not anticipated.
There is a very simple way of quantifying that.
But,
the BJP needn't be defensive on this because all you need to do is look at the tug of war. Look at what's happening where the BJP is taking on the Congress. Direct fights, BJP versus Congress. BJP leading on 62% of those seats. 21 leads in the 34 seats for which we have trends at this moment. The BJP strike rate against the Congress is 62. Let's take the BJP strike rate versus the RJD. It's neck and neck. 49% of the seats the BJP is leading in direct fights with the RJD. It's the JDU versus the RJD which is the problem, where the JDU is leading only on 32%, the RJD currently on 68. So yes, you are trailing net, but the BJP, Syed Zafar Islam, putting up a far tougher fight than the JDU is at this moment.
Well, we had anticipated that both JDU and BJP will do exceedingly well. And I'm sure that these are initial trends. And BJP, because I'm from BJP and I know the kind of traction we had on the ground, so we are extremely comfortable and confident that we will definitely have, in terms of the strike rate, higher strike rate. But these are initial trends about, I won't comment about JDU because we know that JDU also had a very good traction on the ground. So we will wait for the
KC
outcome.
Tyagi of the Janata Dal United just came in Bihar and conceded defeat. So
But,
he's
but look what is happening. Even as you're speaking, Rahul, there's a significant milestone which could be achieved. The
second
NDA
century
is at 99.
Yeah.
There were two batsmen in the IPL. Ishan Kishan, I know, was one of them who was out for 99. The NDA needs to cross 100. If they cross 100, it's game on. Others are 15 at the moment, and those others include, as I said, 10 of the LJP, 2 of the BSP. And these are, the LJP would be more than happy to return back to the NDA
would
fold.
be happy. It becomes a senior player.
No, what is the perfect situation for the BJP? That the Mahagathbandhan does not cross 120. That the NDA is between 100 and 110 or 100 and 120, and the LJP gets 10.
Yep.
Then you've got a perfect situation where the chief minister could be someone other than Nitish Kumar, but you could have
100 NDA's crossed.
So NDA has touched 100.
Yeah.
So I think that's